Alright, so we're doing an after-hour grooming appointment for Gucci because he is moving back to Morocco Thursday. And he needs to be groomed before he gets on the plane and makes his appearance in Morocco. Right? So, gorgeous, gorgeous cat. Anyway, his coat is just a little bit impacted. So what are we going to use? Our favorite pre-treatment, the Le Pooch detangling spray, right? We're going to get that all throughout his coat, which is going to do what? It's going to allow us to go in there and use the grooming tools to sort out all of this impacted coat and do it in a way where it causes the least amount of resistance, right? And these grooming tools are going to get through. I should put this in a continuous spray pump. I don't like the sound that it's making, right? So I'm going to search for an empty continuous spray pump. Yeah, it's on my list. It's on my list of things to do, right? And I just, no, you don't want that done? All right, well, we'll do that later. It's reactive to that. We'll do it later, right? Let's get this on. Happy hoodie. Wow. Wow. Let's start with his nails. He's a big, solid, beautiful cat. It's supposed to be a mix. A little himmy mix, right? A little himmy mix. He said, no, stop it. Let's get the nails done. I put the happy hoodie on when I anticipate the cat's not going to be happy about something. And they usually aren't when it comes to nail trimming. Now we're going to go straight into his butt shave. We're going to allow that product to start working. Going. Yeah. We need that stuff everywhere. Okay. Other side. Now that Le Pooch detangling spray, don't get it twisted, people. You don't want to get a hold of that and use that just any old time you feel like it. It is only for pre-bath because it's oily, right? Which is probably why it works so well. Because it just allows all of these demanding grooming tools to just glide through that coat, right? Use some power tools. This is one of them, right? All right, now let's start with sanitary clip. See if we can access it.
Hello from Saudi Arabia. Two hearts. Paw prints, paw prints, paw prints, paw prints.
Well, hello from Saudi Arabia. This guy is moving to, oh, are you the dad? This guy is going to be moving back to Morocco. His family has had enough of the rat race here in America, and they're out of here. See ya. They're going to go back because they have children, and they feel that they can find a country where it's more conducive to a lifestyle that they want and they can enjoy, right? All right, now, I do have a power tool, which is a slicker brush. Yeah, you're really not supposed to be using a slicker brush on a coat, a long hair cat, but for daily use and daily maintenance. But these are my two power tools. This big comb and then this big brush, right? So we're gonna start with breaking up some of this. As most cat groomers are in shock with the slicker brush, right? Yeah, well. And then I'm just keeping to the surface of the coat, making sure we're not getting down to the skin, right? I'm going to start to use these power tools to help break up the
I
coat.
want to bring in one of my cats. How much do you cost if I want to bring my cat in?
Well, that's a pretty vague question because you didn't tell me what service request you wanted, right? So, and then you don't know, do you know where I'm located? Right? There's another key factor. Where are you located? Family Persian cat, Stella. All right. Stella, where are you located? That would help you. Because I can help you find a cat groomer, right? If I know what area you're in, I can help locate or you can just go look for it yourself. There is a website called nationalcatgroomers.com. Nationalcatgroomers with an S.com. And on that website is a link called Find a Cat Groomer. And it's going to list all of the groomers out there receiving training from the NCGI, right? 90% of groomers who advertise cat grooming have no actual training. You probably want to avoid any groomers who are not listing the kind of training they're getting for cat grooming, because if it's not listed on the website, that means they don't have any. They might be a really good dog groomer, but trust me, if they went for additional training in cat grooming, they would be proud of that, they would be boasting about that, and it would be on their website. And the fact that you don't see it anywhere on their website
Live in Tampa, Florida.
Right, so you want to look for a cat groomer in Florida, right? There's lots of cat groomers down there. I would suggest just hitting that link and looking for the nearest one. It's going to be a little closer than Philadelphia, right? Oh my God. His coat is fully impacted, so we're doing our best to break it down. An impacted coat means you just can't take a comb and comb through it, right? Because you're going to come across a bunch of knots and really thick fur, right? That's what it means to have an impacted coat. And in his case, he's got both mats and an impacted coat. Waka, 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 waka. And we're just going to do our best to work it all out. All right, go back to the brush. Brush has more torque, so it's not as tedious as the comb, which is why I'm going to make a special exception with this tool. It's just not something you would normally use on a regular basis, right? For maintenance, I always say brushing is for dogs, combing is for cats. 90-10% rule, right? 90% of cat grooming is done with combs, and then there are some brushes that you would use with cat grooming. Here's a pin brush, right? This can be really tedious because there's a lot to do here before we can even get him into the tub. So if you remember what I said, the link, if you forget, there is a link attached to this page called themainlion.live. If you hit that link, there will be a tab on that link that says Find a Cat Groomer, and it's going to take you to the NCGI website where you can look up the nearest cat groomer to where you live. Right? Is what I would recommend. Now, do you need an armpit shave? I think you do. I think you do. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. You won't see it. There. Help a little bit. Okay. Alrighty then. Get that out of the way. Got someone texting in my ear. Anemia. Anemia. Which anemia? You get anemia when you are internally bleeding, right? I'm sorry, I'm just working on a case right now of a cat client who decided to go to a different groomer. And 2 days later, her cat was dead, right? Cat had internal bleeding. Oh yeah, we're starting to help these cat owners fight back. We have a veterinarian who is going to help. They will show up in court and they will be put in the witness stand and they will talk to the judge and they will start talking about the shit that's going on in this pet industry, right? We're going to create a path to help these cat owners fight back, which is something that doesn't really come naturally to a lot of cat owners. They don't fight back, right? So that's what's currently happening right now with a client of mine. These pet groomers are going to know not to mess with cat owners eventually, right? Or I hope someday it gets to that point. Oh, there's a lot going on here. A lot going on. Okay, so these are tiny mats that can come out after the bath while he's under the dryer. So I'm not too worried about that. Just leave that alone. I just want to do the bulk of it, the majority of it. Good laddie. Good laddie. So the official cause of death was the cat had anemia. But in the medical report, it said the cat had internal bleeding. Why does a cat have internal bleeding after a grooming? Can we all just imagine maybe why? It's not good. So she needs to file and she needs to fight back. Wee-hee. You're doing it. All right, before we get down to the groin area and start dematting things, let's first clear that area, right? And shave the parts that are coming out first, because we don't want to demat anything that's already going to come out, right? So let's do this first, so we know what parts are staying behind, right? Right. Oh, hot mess. Hot mess. Hot mess. like, that tickles. Yeah, I doubt it. Wham. Wham. Get all that out. One other thing you could do. The only problem with using this tool is it will cut into the guard hair. So if you are going to use it, c'est la vie. Oh my. We don't have a good angle for that, so you gotta be careful how you use that tool because one side is dull, the other side is sharp. So you have to have a good level plane to use that tool. Okay? Waka 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 waka. Waka 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 waka. Alright. End tail. End tail. Open up that tail. And then once we have cleared most of his coat, we're going to bring him into the tub area and start with his whole degreasing process, right? Because he's already in need of that beauty treatment, which will deal with the oil that we were using for the tangling spray. So you don't have to worry about putting oil into the coat when you're using it for the detangling, since we'll be using the groomer scoop. Good buddy. You're doing it, buddy. Alright. Now, we gotta get in between his legs. It's never fun for any cat. Yeah, what do we got going on back here? A lot. A lot, a lot, a lot. That's one big pelted hot mess. Can't be saved.
Kind of cat shaver.
It's the One Is All cat trimmer from Amazon for 25 bucks. It's a safety clipper. It's designed to be very safe around cats. There's another one right there. There. Alright. Waka waka. Okay. Alright. Waka waka. How we doing? Break time? He's like, yeah. Alright. Break. Alright, break's over. He's like, that wasn't long enough. Alright, let's do this armpit. Wah, wah. Now again, going back to that link that's on this page, the mainline.live, if you hit it, it'll take you to a beacons page where we'll have a link to this clipper that'll take you directly to the Amazon link, right? Alright. I just want to make sure his coat is ready for the bath. There's certain mats you can leave until after the bath. And then there's certain ones you can't, right? That you want to deal with before the bath. I do not condone using a slicker brush on a cat, except for emergency purposes only. And the only reason why I'm using it is because it's a power tool, and so it's going to have the least amount of torque, the most amount of torque, but the least amount of, how do I put this in words? It's going to be heavy torque, heavy power tool, which then means less resistance or impact on the cat, okay? As opposed to going in and tediously using a comb, which will then drive the cat out of their freaking mind, right? And it'll take 5 times longer, right? That's why I did that. Oh, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. Oh, we're almost there, buddy. We're almost there. And then I have to look up my client who just moved from Morocco and see if she knows of any cat groomers. And then if she knows of any that are near this owner, I'll let him know. Otherwise, it's not going to take long before he's going to probably need a line cut. They can't find a groomer, right? I think we're there. Waka waka. Alright, you did it. He still has more mats, but we're going to deal with those after the bath. In the dryer, under the dryer, right? All right, let's do it. He's like, let's do what? Let's get you your bath, silly. Waka waka. Waka waka. Waka 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 waka. Are we there yet? Pretty much.
Face cat face.
Alright, let's do it. Right this way. Right this way. Right this way. And there. Alright, right this way. Come here. Good boy. Alright, up you go. You ready? He's like, for what? Get your bath, silly. There we go. There we go. Alright, let's start with the pink paw paw on his head and mane. That's the first beauty treatment. We're going to do the face first. Good boy. You're so sweet. You know you're going to be in Morocco in like 2-3 days. He's like, really? Yeah. You're going back home. Yeah. He's like, really? Yipper. That's pretty exciting, huh? Didn't your parents tell you? He's like, no. What do you think all those suitcases are for? He's like, oh, okay. Yeah. We're gonna pack y'all up. Everyone's going back to Morocco. You're so sweet. So precious. He's so precious. Alright, that's done. Good boy. Get that to work its magic all the way on everything. He's getting what I call a full coat restoration package. To restore the coat, that involves beauty treatments and the bath, right? It's not anything you can do dry, right? It involves certain products. A lot of them, ironically, are oily to help restore the coat and get all the knots out, right? All right, let's go get the heated groomer scoop. It's going to go on nice and warm and heated. It's a much better application for the cat, depending on what part of the world you live in and what the temperature is, right? There. Good boy. And then the secret is to work it down to the skin. It's a lot easier to work with the liquid groomer scoop than the really thick one when you're working with a long hair cat, in my opinion. And if you heat it, it makes it work even easier. It's easier to work with. And then you buy that by the gallon. It's like 50, 60 bucks. Doesn't cost a whole lot. Or you can just get the 9-ounce bottle. You don't have to buy the whole gallon. Those 9-ounce bottles, Amazon, right? But if you want to get the gallon of liquid groomer scoop, there's a certain outlets who will sell it. One of them is cherrybrook.com, and then the other would be Groomer's Mart. And then that link, Groomer's Mart, is on the mainlion.live link, right? And then you want to specify that you want the degreaser, because Groomer's Scoop makes a lot of different products. You want to make sure you're not ordering their shampoo or their condition, all of the products that they have available. You want to specifically request the degreaser. Here's what it looks like. There, right? Yeah. And this is about a 10-minute pre-treatment. It says 5 on the bottle. Just disregard that. Especially if you have a very heavily oiled down cat, right? You're gonna want 10 minutes at least. And I took the Beeps brush because I was showing someone on. I have to go get the Beeps brush. It's here somewhere. That Beeps brush will help work that product through. The trick is to get it all the way down to the skin if you want it to work the way it's supposed to, right? Beats brush is $6. If you have a long hair cat and you're trying to groom it at home, this $6 tool comes in really handy. I got this from Love Groomers is the name of the website. most groomers don't really have a shop where we can go and just shop and purchase stuff. We have to order everything pretty much online. Sometimes, every once in a while, you'll see a couple of stores that pop up specifically for groomers, but it's very rare. Alright, let's get the water going, nice and warm. Good boy. Good boy. This, maybe. Do not want me back here. Make sure that's all done. All right, good. Sorry. So this is in there nice and deep. Good boy. And then you want to have this on standby. It's going to be your best friend, especially when you have a cat with a matted, impacted coat. Ideally, if you can get all of the matting and shedding, loose dead coat out of the coat before you take your cat out of the bath. If you're not a trained cat groomer, that would be ideal. Good buddy. Alright, so we started with the face first. So the face has the longest time with the degreaser, so we can start on the face pretty much right away. Plenty of time for that to work. I'm going to use a soft little rabbit brush for his legs. A rabbit brush just means it has the little tips on the end, just like you might find with a lot of cat brushes. So, but any brush that has the tips on the end is the perfect brush for the bath for their legs. All right, here we go. He's like, where are we going? Well, it's a figure of speech, buddy. I'm just gonna get your bath started. He's like, is that a duck? Yeah. And it makes bubbles? Yeah. Alright, we're going to rinse off the head, mane, and 2 front legs. And that'll be our first block that we work on. You gonna jump? He's like, I'm thinking about it. No, don't do that. You're covered in goop. You're all icky. You're not gonna go very far. Your owner's not gonna want you back until it's all off and washed off, right? So you gotta stay, buddy. Alright, so that's our first block that we're gonna be working on. Alright, ready, steady, here we go. Let's do your eyes first. Yeah, let's do your eyes first. Gotcha. Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. Good boy. You got it. You got this. Good boy. Hee. Other side. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. Nope, 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 nope. Nope, 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 nope. Out the ears. Not bad. Not bad at all, little buddy. Alright, let's start on your head. I'm going to take this little pal's curry brush and we're going to start washing. Waka, 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 waka. You usually only have to wash your face once if you're using the pink paw pal. Waka, 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 waka. Waka, waka, waka. Bee. Waka, waka, waka. Under your chinny chin chin. He's like, that feels good. I know. I know it does. Alright, we are using two magic ingredients, F&T by Le Pooch, and this is called Orvis. You're like, what the hell is that? Well, it was recommended to me by certified feline master groomer who also shows Siberian cats. The Orvis, right? You get it on Amazon. It's a 7.5 pound tub. Wow. So you could say it's like a lather booster, right? This is going to really help to get that coat to get clean and lather up, right? Well, why don't I just use a Chubb's bar?
First live that I'm actually interested.
Well, because we've captured, oh, good. Hello, Black. Because we've captured live about 3 times now what happens when you take a Chubb's bar to the wrong long-haired cat, right? Doesn't happen with all of them, but when you take a Chubb's bar to the wrong long-haired cat, what can happen, not that it's going to happen, but what can happen, and it's happened to us 3 times live, is that coat will bind to itself.